What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I hope you like this video. This is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15, Episode 4. Child, we on Episode 4 already. So listen. Mama Ru, listen, the elimination conversation wasn't that interesting, child. They was arguing over who was the second person, child. I don't care about none of that, okay? I don't care about none of that. Ru comes into the workroom, baby, and Ru said, listen, I don't have no time to play games with y'all this season, okay? It's too many of y'all here, and I need to figure out who I need to get rid of, and I need to eliminate y'all real quick. And he said, we're going to go ahead, and he comes in this fabulous suit with ostrich feather and sparkle. I said, ooh, he got on a special suit today. Well, guess why? Baby, it's Snatch Game. Now, of course, all of us are like, Snatch Game? In episode 4, where they do that at? But I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad at it. I feel like that gave an opportunity for us to see more of the characters we always hear after the season. Oh, I would have done so-and-so. Oh, I was going to do so-and-so. So now can't nobody say what they would have, should have, could have done. Let me tell you what else I'm not doing. And I tell y'all this every season. I am not entertaining anybody that acts like they not ready for Snatch Game. Okay? Aurora talking about I'm not great at imitations. Girl, you don't have to be great at imitations, but what you do know, or impersonations, I should say. But what you do know is that Snatch Game is coming every season. That ain't never changed. Ever. Ever. So, I really don't want to care. I mean, I don't really care about it. So, what they did was they divided it up into 2 teams. And I thought it was interesting that the guest judges were pit crew members. They didn't even bring anybody else. So, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I feel like we might see Snatch Game again. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we might see a different version, maybe a dating version, like they do on All Stars or something like that. But I really feel like we're going to see Snatch Game again later on when there's not as many queens left. But I could be wrong. They may have come up with something new. But I'm not entertaining a sewing. Oh, I don't know how to sew. I'm not entertaining Snatch Game. I'm not ready. And I'm definitely not entertaining the whole, oh, well, you know, I'm not a great actor or actress. Girl, you know what's coming. All of these things don't change, okay? The key to Snatch Game, of course, is to be good at who you are imitating. They don't have to be somebody memorable that we know. You just have to make them memorable for us to know, right? Jinx Monsoon is a perfect example. We didn't know who the hell that person was that first season. I mean, I didn't. But it's probably one of the most memorable Snatch Game characters, right? And second of all, make Ru laugh. If you can make Ru laugh, you're good. So we divided into 2 teams. So team 1, we had Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn was played by Marsha. Amanda Lapoon was played by Lux Lore. I don't know who that person is, but Lux did okay with her. Tim Gunn, Marsha did pretty good with Tim Gunn. There were some memorable moments, some lines you made Ru laugh pretty good. Malaysia did Saucy Santana. You looked like Saucy Santana, but you ain't give me nothing. Your introduction was funny, and then you sort of faded back. Again, I know these are edited, but they're usually edited to either show somebody that was really, really funny or somebody that bombed. And the fact that I didn't get anything tells me you were neither. You were in the middle, and you were safe, and that's fine. But Saucy Santana, it was so much you could have given us. Like, I really needed you to get up and twerk. Like, I really needed you to give us a moment, a Saucy Santana moment, because you looked like him. Rosie O'Donnell played by Mistress. Now, Mistress, I'm going to say this to you. Mistress, I feel like you thought you were Rosie O'Donnell, but somewhere in the middle you morphed into Abby Lee, the dance lady, the dance mom lady. Either way, you were funny as hell as both of them, and it worked, and you had Ru in stitches. So I was like, oh, Mistress is going to be at the top, because she's absolutely hilarious. As long as her runway doesn't bomb, she's good. Then we had, instead of Gordon Ramsay, we had Gorgina Ramsey. Who did I say that was? And then Robin did Karen Huger. Now, the thing about doing Karen Huger was you had all of her taglines. Like, if you watch The Real Housewives of Potomac, You recognize the taglines. The problem is if you didn't watch the Real Housewives of Potomac, none of what you were saying meant anything. It wasn't funny. It didn't stand out. But it was very Karen Huger. I will say that. But they weren't funny Karen Huger. Girl, if you was gonna be, you needed to give me a wig hanging off your head, you turning the wig. Like, even though people who don't watch the show would not know that, you needed to find a way to incorporate a wig, have a wig emergency. You know, you needed to have an outburst with somebody. Like, you needed to give me bad Karen Huger. You were giving me Karen Huger on her best grand dame behavior, right? Like, you needed to be handing out etiquette workbooks. Go back to season 1 when she gave Giselle the etiquette book. Like, you knew who you were going to be on the panel with. You could have gave it to Rosie O'Donnell, who was acting a whole ass. You know, you could have just had it waiting. You could have been telling Rue, listen, the grand dame never lowers herself. Like, it was so much you could have done with Karen, and y'all know I love her, so I was feeling some kind of way just a little bit. But the standout in the first game was definitely Rosie O'Donnell. Now, here's my problem with the first game. Selena Estes, I can never say her name. She played the Virgin Mary. I didn't like it. I didn't like the premise. I didn't like the idea. I didn't like you turning Mary into a whole hooker hoe. And it wasn't funny. See, here's the thing. I'll let you get away with some blasphemy if it's funny. But I was uncomfortable and it wasn't funny. So, yeah. The second group was Mona Lisa. Jax played Mona Lisa. Miley Cyrus was Spice, played by Spice. Joan Rivers was played by Lucy. Jan Crouch was Sasha. Trisha Paytas was Sugar. Tan Mori was Amethyst. And then Bratman Rock was Aurora. Listen, this panel was sorry as hell. And it wasn't just because I didn't know a lot of these people. Mona Lisa as Jax, you were boring. Miley Cyrus as Spice, you did too much. You had a great concept where you started off as old Miley before the tattoos, before the crazy behavior, and then you morphed into crazy Miley. That was a great concept. But you needed to be like the crazy Miley was, like you were hitting yourself in the head with a mallet. When did Miley Cyrus do that? Like, I needed you to have a blow up doll. I needed you to sing a song. I don't know, but what you didn't work for me. I was not here for none of that. Lucy as Joan Rivers stole the show. I knew clearly she was gonna be the winner from her round because she absolutely stole the show. I mean beyond, she stole the show. Beyond anything, she stole the show. And it was hilarious. She sounded like Joan Rivers. The jokes were very Joan Rivers. You were ad-libbing. You were adding your 2 cents in. You know, it wasn't all scripted stuff. Like, you were definitely adding your 2 cents. And it was hilarious. I know I was going to do that. The rest of these people were just blah. Like, you blended in. You didn't stand out. And you were just blah. But enough of these people, y'all were, most of y'all, some of y'all end up in the bottom. We'll get to that in a second. Now, the runway was, the mayor talk was Lucy talking about being being bullied and standing in her, gayness and still living in the small town and being treated, talking about being called out her name and being treated really bad, but that now, there's a confidence level there that, you're comfortable with. Our guest host is Amanda Steinberg. So that's the guest host. The runway is Beautiful Nightmare. Marsha, you did not push. You have a problem with pushing the envelope. Like, you do not understand that part of drag is being big, bold, and pushing the envelope. You came out as like, I don't know, like a dentist assistant. You had pigtails but a mustache. But then you had like the thing in your mouth that when you go to the dentist to hold your mouth open. I don't know. You didn't stand out. Lux Lord was giving me bride, like um a rising from the dead bride. The makeup was beautiful, and I mean not beautiful, but like impeccable. Like you really looked like you were a ghost, like some sort of ghost. And she had this cinder block tied to her leg. She said that the story is that she's a bride whose husband threw her in the water and drowned her. And I saw it. It was a clear story. Um, Malaysia was giving me like dead showgirl. It was gorgeous. It was like this light lavender with the horns, but it was very showgirl. It was pretty. It wasn't dirty nightmare, but I could see how that could haunt you in your dreams, you know. Mistress, there was a lot of spiders. I don't know. This seems to happen every season for something where there's like somebody takes everybody interprets it the same way. There was about 4 or 5 spider outfits, some version of a spider. So the first one we have is a spider demon mistress. She looked beautiful, but she looked very mistress, but with a spider theme, if that makes sense. Then we had an Anitra. I had spider, and it was like a latex outfit with these long claw spider-like fangs on her hand. Selena was I wrote zombie titties. She did like a whole Leatherman thing, but then she had like these zombies. It was a zombie thing going on. Robin was all glamour, but it was a spider, but there was nothing scary about it. It was very glamorous. Lucy, I wrote drag Jason. It was a Jason mask and everything, but it was a very black drag, and the makeup was very zombie drag. I liked it. It was cute. Sasha, I wrote Queen of the Dam. She looked just like Queen of the Dam. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. Nothing scary again, but it was gorgeous. I mean, she was gorgeous, but I mean, I wasn't afraid. Jax looked cheap, and it was not pretty. It was this snake. I wrote plastic jumpsuit. It was like a bodysuit, but it was plastic, and it was like this cheap looking snake. It wasn't cute. Jax was in the bottom for me as far as that's concerned. And then your Mona Lisa was very lackluster, but there were people that were worse than you, so you lived to see another day. But that runway was my least favorite. It was horrible. Sugar I wrote cotton candy. There was nothing scary about her at all. Nothing. And then Spice was zombie Bratz doll is what I wrote. Now, this is the second week in a row that I wrote Bratz doll as a description of your runway look. Ma'am, Houston, we have a problem. Amethyst was like a Lady Gaga with blood gushing out. It was like a whole effect to it, which was cute because it told a story. And then Aurora had this beautiful gown in the front with this red wig, and then when she turned around in the back, it was like an exposed spine, and it looked very gory and gooey. And I thought that was very, creative, right? So we get to the judge's decision. They don't give us the whole let's talk about it, probably because there's too many girls right now. When we get to smaller numbers, we could probably get into that. And somebody asked me for pictures. When we get to smaller numbers, we'll get pictures, because I'm gonna be honest with you, for that's a lot of looks to give y'all and to edit it in and all of that. That's a lot. And I'm not saying I won't do it. I'm gonna say I'll do it when the numbers are a little bit smaller. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I love y'all too. But I will give y'all pictures. But woo, right now it's just a lot of people. And y'all watching, if I get the numbers up. If I get the numbers up, then I'll do it. Anyway, the top the top people came down to who I said it was. It came down to Mistress with Rosie O'Donnell or Joan Rivers and Lucy. Lucy wins, and it is deserved. Like, I'll have no beef with who won. Okay, no beef. Mistress was at the top. Ruth said, I got my eye on you. And listen, that's better than getting the win. Ruth saying, I got my eye on you, that's better than the win, baby. Better than the win. The bottom, now, I saw this coming in the bottom. I'm going to be honest with you. I saw this coming. I didn't see it coming this soon. But I think Ru was like, let me go on and get this out the way because I ain't playing with y'all. Sugar and Spice were in the bottom. And they had to lip sync against each other. And I said, I saw that coming. There's no way Ru was going to have twins on here and not make them lip sync against each other at some point. Now, if this had been later on in the season, I'd have been like, oh, okay, she's going to do a double Shantae, you stay. And she just wanted the drama of them lip syncing against each other. But when it was so early in the season, I said, oh, no, she ain't going to keep this. Too early. It's too early to do a Shantae, you stay. A double Shantae, you stay. So they lip synced to Pat Benatar, What You Trying to Do With My Heart. And what was weird was that it was almost like they had choreographed the number. So then I really thought, oh, this is a joke. Ru's not really going to eliminate them. This was all a joke. It was all ha-ha-has. Because this is weird. Like the lip sync looked like they literally choreographed this number. Like they were playing off of each other. They were doing the same thing at the same time. And it was so weird. Even to the point where Carson was confused. Because you could see it in his face. He was like, what? Huh? What? Like, and he kept looking at Michelle and Ru like, what is going on? Like, what? Are we being punked right now? And then when it was over and it was time to clap, Carson was like, I get it. Like, you could tell that he couldn't tell whether it was real or not. Because that is how choreographed this lip sync was. And I wasn't that impressed with it. To be honest with you, neither one of them I was all that crazy about. But at the end, Ru was, I ain't say she was impressed. But she picked one. So Sugar stays and Spice goes. And again, I don't think that was the wrong decision. And I expected that lip sync. I just didn't expect it this early. So you throwing me for a loop, Ru. You throwing me for a loop. But anyway, that's it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.